What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, it's still the same night where my stuff, Xfinity stuff, don't work. So I'm pretty much just gonna be recording a bunch of podcast episodes tonight because I can't edit no videos. I might be able to record me some videos. I'll have to see, but right now I'm not taking any chances. I'm like, you know what? It's better to, be able to record some podcast episodes than to not be able to do nothing. So, guess I'll just be doing this for the night. I might be able to record me, some gaming videos too. I don't know. I'll have to see in things. But anyways, what overall I wanted to talk on was dealing with deaths. I think I have talked on this before. But for those that are new to my podcast, then here's a more updated version of it. But who knows? I might be repeating the same stuff that I already said. But overall, dealing with death, it's a serious thing. I know people that they've dealt with death a lot, and some it hits, some deaths, it hits, overall, like, deaths will hit harder for some people, and then for others, it just, has like it'll have an effect on you. It'll definitely have an effect on you, like, even if you don't know the person. There's been celebrities where they've died, and I'm like, dang, like, even celebrities that I didn't even really know. That's the crazy part about it. There's people out there that I didn't even really know, and when you hear that they done died, then you're like, dang, man, that's sad. Because, you feel for the people that, like, are surrounded by them. You feel for their friends and their family. And that's why it's like, with musicians or actors or whoever, like, when you hear that like, they done died or some stuff done to happen, it's like, when you see that pain that people be feeling and things, like, you feel for them. So, for me, I'm like, I just remember, overall, like, dealing with, like, I had to say probably, like, the first, celebrity death. Oh, is things working again? Bro, stuff is finally working again. Okay, cool. Well, the episode's still gonna continue on. Let's see if YouTube's working. YouTube is working. Everything is working fine. Thank God. Okay, so I'm gonna try to hurry up and rush this episode and things. I will try to make sure that I talk on everything that I need to talk on. But actually, just so turn my TV off because that's just distracting. But so I remember the first celebrity death that I dealt with, and I have to say that was Bernie Mac. And I remember the morning I woke up and seen that he had passed away, and I was like, that's what I have to say. That was like the first death that did hit me, and I was like, wow, that was crazy. And I have to say, probably first family death that hit me was my uncle on my mom's side of the family. I remember she came home early from work. I think I was coming home from school, and I just seen her sitting down with my dad, and I was just like, what's going on? And then that's when she told me, and I was like, dang. And he was just, the crazy thing about it, he was like just at our house like not too long before. So it was like, and it was kind of, that's like one thing that like lingers in my mind is that, while he was here, like, I'm upstairs watching wrestling, like, family just came over. You're supposed to sit down and chill with the family and stuff, and I didn't. So that's like something that does kind of like linger in my head at times. I'm like, dang, I didn't really get a chance to, like, spend time with them and stuff. Like, I didn't even really, I think I might have, like, like, probably if I sit down and think about it, I think I've only like really just been like, not chilling with them like one time in my whole life and things. But yeah, it was like, my mom, she talks about it, and I'm like, dang, it's messed up. It's messed up that it's like that, but that's life and things. And so it's just, it's something that it's like I've learned to like live with it and stuff. But at times I'm just like, dang, man, I wish I did have like an opportunity to, like, hang out with them and stuff, talk with them and things. But yep, being a kid and being a wrestling fan, like, but I just didn't really expect some stuff like that to happen and things. So that's why I'm like, don't be like me when I was a kid. Family comes over, hang out with them, because, family or friends, whoever, family, friend, whoever. It's like, because you don't really know when the next time you get a chance to hang out with them and stuff. So, but anyways, but yeah, then it was that, and then it seemed like that it kind of, like, at least, where celebrity deaths was like going on left and right. Like, I just, when Michael Jackson, I remember when he passed, and I wasn't, I didn't really know how big of an artist or just how big of a, like, person he was, like, amongst the like the world and stuff. But oh my God, like, I remember, because I think I was at home, with my dad. And I remember I was in my room watching the Wayans brothers. I think my dad, he might have been, I can't remember what he was watching, but Anyways, my mom had called and she was just all like, Michael Jackson had just died, and I'm like, I didn't even really listen to him. I didn't really know too much about him. So I remember I was on the phone. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I'm sorry to hear that. Like, and it wasn't even like I wasn't trying to come off as I didn't care, but it was like I didn't know him, so I was like, I can't really like show any emotions towards that because I didn't know who he was and stuff. I didn't realize how much of a person or how much of a big person he was. So, anyways, yeah, we all are home at one point, and I just remember like on the news, like when they were transporting his body, and they were just showing his music and just everything's like all these different. Man, it was crazy to like, and then I just remember like the next morning waking up, and I was like, and I honestly felt like depressed about the whole situation. I was like, hey, yo, I didn't even know this man like 24 hours ago. Now all of a sudden, like, I'm sad about him. Like, what? I'm like, I'm confused on this. And so, yeah, it was a really crazy scenery to see that. And then it just, after me, even after that, like, there's a bunch of other deaths that went down. And then I had to say, 2016, like I had to say from 2016 to 2017, yeah, I was like, it was, bruh, like it was crazy how many deaths that I was dealing with. But, anyways, so first death that I had to say that like of 2016 that I dealt with was my grandfather. So we had knew that he was sick, and he had some things going on. I believe it was stomach cancer, and so I think there's like the procedure to fix it. He was too old. My grandfather, he was like, I mean, the man. I believe he was in his 80s, but it's debatable. Like I feel like my grandfather, he was that man. He looked like he'd been 60 his whole life. I mean, well, not maybe, all right, maybe not his whole life, but he didn't look like he was in no 80. That's why I'm like, hey, yo, when people say black don't crack, like my grandfather, he was the definition of it. Cause I'm like, hey, yo, that man, he's looked the same literally my whole childhood all the way up until I was like 2016. I think I was 19 at the time, 19 or 20, I don't know. But anyways, but so no, he was so yeah, first that was like the first death of 2016. I still remember that night. Cause my dad was taking care of him and stuff, and so it was my dad and my uncle, and I just remember like right before I was getting ready to go to sleep, got a text message from him talking about Papa passed away, and that's what we all called them. We all called them Papa, and so it was yeah, that was something I wasn't really expecting, because that man, he's been there my whole life. So I'm like, I remember him all the way from when I was like a small child. Like I remember I used to live with that man. Me and my family, we used to live with them. And then so I'm like, I knew of him all the way then, and then it was like, seeing him in his like, his last like, few just like moments and stuff. It well, because I mean I wasn't there when he passed, but prior before that, I remember when he was like, he was sent home from the hospital and stuff, and so he was just in bed. And I just remember, seeing him in the state that he was. It was like, it was just weird seeing him like that, because I wasn't really expecting him to, this. I never really expected him to pass and stuff. And so when he did, it was like, hey, yo, this is wild, man. Hold on for 1 second. Just give me 1 second. My Wi Fi legit worked for like a few minutes, and now it's right back out. So yep, Xfinity is trash. But anyway, so back to what I was saying. So back talking about my first grandfather passed away. So going to his funeral, I had to say that was definitely a different experience. Going to my grandfather's funeral, that was the first ever funeral that I've ever been to. Now there has been other family members that had passed passed away, and I chose not to go to their funerals because I'm just not really a big like funeral person. Like just knowing what it is, I just never really went out to go to one and stuff. But anyways, but no, with my grandfather, I'm like, I have to go to his and stuff. Like that's one thing for sure. I'm like, I gotta go. But anyway, so I went there. And that's definitely one thing that I can tell you guys is like seeing him in the, while he was in his casket and stuff. That was extremely different. Like that was very, very, very different. And I was like, that was something that still sticks with me till this day. Like seeing him how he was and stuff. Because you see this man full of life. Like I've always seen this man full of life. Like just it was just crazy just seeing him in that state and things. Is my thing working again, or is it still messing up? I really don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi right now because I'm like, I don't know. It was nope, it's messing up. So, anyways, it's like straight up messing with me. But so, going back, I felt like this episode, like it was supposed to be a serious episode. Okay, I'm just gonna focus on this episode, or yeah, focus on this episode because like right now, it's like I can see that this is just gonna keep distracting me and things. Now it wants to work. I swear. All right, give me a second. All right, so I was like, I was just trying to get my videos out for today and stuff because it was, yeah, that was on my brain and things, and so I'm like, that was gonna honestly distract me and stuff from this episode. All right, now that I got everything out the way, I can focus on this episode and actually, stay focused. So yeah, the funeral was a crazy experience, and then the very next month, I had a childhood friend of mine get shot and killed at a party. So yeah, definitely caught me by surprise. And I remember it was right after my grandfather's funeral. Like I remember coming back home and just feeling really down. Definitely felt that same way, but it felt worse this time around since it was a childhood friend of mine. I had just seen him and he had just told me about how he was gonna get into the military. I know one of his things that he wanted to do is become a cop. And it's just crazy, when you have that conversation and then you go from like having that conversation to posting about like rest in peace to him and stuff. That was something I wasn't even expecting. I think I might have been recording videos or something, and then started seeing people because I don't know, I think I might have I was taking a little like minor break from recording, and then just was like scrolling through social media to see that and was like, nah, like that's not real. And then seeing more and more people talk on it, it was crazy. That was definitely something I was not expecting. And so and it was New Year's Eve. And for people that like, if more so my family, more so my immediate family, mom, sister, they know that New Year's Eve is my day. I love New Year's Eve. I love that environment. I love just hearing fireworks going off all night. I love just, celebrating the new year. I love, like, 4th of July and New Year's Eve is like because I'm like, I be up, like, listening to them fireworks. I'm like, okay, which one gonna be loud? Which one gonna scare me? Okay, this one, cool. But, yeah, not that night. I'm like, yeah, that night I was, I remember just being down, and then I was like, I knew how down I was, and it was like trying to cheer myself up. So like, yeah, back to back deaths, like that ain't no joke. That is not no joke. So then I think it was March of 2017, my other grandfather passed away. So yeah, it was just a very dark time for me. I was like, man, I don't know when this stuff is gonna stop, but it was like, it was crazy. It was extremely crazy and stuff, and I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting that. And so, and he was in Louisiana, so I just remember like going to work and telling them like, hey, like it was like a last minute thing that went down and stuff, but yeah, telling them I'm like, I'm not gonna be here next few days. I'm gonna be in Louisiana and stuff. So it was crazy, just doing that. Then it was like, what was wild was the one manager I wasn't getting along with, like, cause I think it was like word had got like around to him, like what was going on in my life, like having my other grandfather and a childhood friend of mine's, both of them dying, and then this, and so even he took the time to like like, cause I think I was changing to like go back home, and I think it was maybe gonna be that weekend where we were gonna go to Louisiana, and even he was like, he sent his condolences, and he was just like, hey man, I'm sorry with everything that's happening to you and stuff. And I'm like, that's when it's serious. That's when it's crazy, when it's like the manager you ain't even getting along with, like he's taking the time to like send his condolences and stuff. So yeah, that was them, like those months was just some crazy months. And then the very next year, I think it was my cousin. I think he was my cousin by marriage. I don't think we was like blood related, but I just think it was like marriage type stuff. But I knew him ever since I was a child. We went to the same school together and stuff. And he ended up getting shot and killed, and so it was, yeah. I was like, dang, man, what is going on? And then XXX for those that don't know, I'm a big fan of his. And so when he died, I was depressed. I almost started crying on the bus. Like when because I had just left work. I was at the bus stop waiting for, my bus to, pick me up and things so I can head back home, take me a beautiful nap. And because that's what I do. That's what I do every single time when I leave from work. I always take a nap. Always. Unless I'm like on the bus talking with somebody, then other than that. But I'm like, no, like always I am just taking a beautiful nice nap. Not that day. I go and open up my phone, and it was crazy because I don't usually open up my phone like unless I'm like opening up to like change to a song or something. But no, I was scrolling through social media, and then that's when I had seen. So I had seen Ski Master Slum God, XXX friend, post about how he loves him, and then he was just, I think he said like just say forever, and I didn't think twice of it. I was just like, oh, he's just showing love to his friend and things. Then I kept scrolling, and then I think either I had seen a post saying that X had passed, or I had seen the video of him in his car. That's something that, when you're a fan of somebody, like, you should not have to see some stuff like that. And to talking to, like, all XXX fans, I'm sorry on that day that you guys had to see that video. Like, I don't know who was the original poster of that video, but it's like, man, it's really, it's messed up that was like the video that we all had to see and stuff. I had to say, like, the only thing from that situation was that I ended up befriending another fan of XXX. That was like honestly the only like blessing from that situation. And it shouldn't even have had to have been like that. It's like it should have been under like different circumstances, but yeah, that's it was just crazy, seeing that. Like I wasn't expecting that. I remember a customer, he came up to me, and it was a customer that I was chilled with. Me and him, we was always like saying what's up to each other and things. I remember he came up to me, and I was like, I was, I couldn't even like talk, like I couldn't even have a conversation because I'm like, I just seen something. Like definitely the most craziest thing of 2018 was that, like, seeing X pass away. So I was like, that was on my mind for a while. Like I could not shake that. I could not shake that at all. And I was like, man, and I didn't even know him. That's the crazy thing about it. It's like I didn't know him. I never met this man. All I did was listen to his music. That's it. That's all I did was just listen to his music. So the fact that he had that much of an effect on me, like, that's crazy. That's some crazy stuff right there. So yeah, I was like, man, I wasn't really expecting that, but it happened and things. And so then I had to say, then yeah, when Juice WRLD, when he passed, I didn't even have like any emotions in me, when Juice WRLD had passed. Like I remember that was the one death where I was like, I can't even react to it. And I listen to Juice WRLD all the time too. Like I listen to his music a lot. And I just remember, like, when he passed, I was like, I can't even have no effect. I'm sorry, like, it hit me a little bit later with him though, because I was like, I think I was either reading about him or something, and then that's when it hit me. I was like, hey yo, this man, he's really gone. Like that's crazy. It's just something I never really expected, but yeah, it happened. And so yeah, the thing is though, like, those are all the deaths that really did stand out to me, and that's the one thing that I'm proud and happy to say is that it didn't, like, have like that much of an effect on me to where I'm thinking dramatic and crazy things myself. Like I wasn't thinking along the lines like I need to take my life because I'm like it ain't worth it. Like my thing is like this. I still got life in me. And my thing is like I need to embrace the people that I'm surrounded with. That's like the one thing that you can do when dealing with a death is just embrace those around you. Friends, family, pets. I don't care who it is, what it is. Like embrace the stuff around you. Like and that was one thing where I'm like, that was definitely one of the reasons why I have like such a strong bond with Priscilla from Four Souls, is because she befriended me like after all that stuff, like with my grandfather and my friends, and my friend. And I was like, man, and then it was like other friends that had passed away. Even there's another friend of mine, I was just reading about his death the other day. Then it was a teacher that I was reading about, that she was like a childhood teacher of mine. And I was, I found that was the whole reason why I was even doing this episode in the first place, was to talk on that and things. But then also it was like a few days ago I was reading about a friend of mine's. He was accidentally, it was an accident, because I think the person that did it, I think they were like looking at a shotgun or looking at a gun or something. It accidentally went off, killed my friend. And then the guy, I think they say he was so distraught what he did, and he turned the gun on himself and killed himself. And so it was yeah, that was to hear about that, I was like, I was looking at his profile the other day, and it's just to see him. I was like, I was walking home with this kid, and then with the one friend that died on New Year's Eve, I was like, I remember me and him was having like wrestling matches in my backyard and stuff. So it's like I have memories with literally everybody in my life. There's another friend of mine, he was affiliated with a gang, and I think his was like probably the most craziest. He was like ambushed after he got off of a bus. And I'm like, oh my God, like, bro, what is going on? I'm like, dang, it was just wild, man. It was very, very wild. And then I know there was the other the YouTuber Etika. I remember when he died, like I didn't even really watch his videos. I think I knew of him. I had just seen him around on YouTube. But I just remember like that having an effect on me, because I was like, hey yo, like this is a YouTuber and stuff. So I was like, man, it's just it's crazy to hear those things when they go down. But like I said, it's like embracing those around you, and it's like in being able to like be in my shoes where I'm able to talk about it, like, and I'm like, and it still has an effect on me, even thinking about that stuff now, it still has an effect on me and stuff. So that's why I'm like, hey yo, I tell people, it's like, hey yo, be there for those around you, embrace them, love them, care for them, do what you can. And yeah, I'm like, I hope and pray that just if you ever do deal with some stuff like this, I hope and pray that life does get better for you. And I hope that you become like, because I'm like, I still think about that stuff and it still haunts me. And yeah, I'm like, but I keep going, I just keep busy and just keep going and stuff. So but yeah, I hope things, if you are dealing with death, like I just felt like I was more so just talking on like the situations that I've been through, and I'm just hoping that it like motivates you guys to just be able to like sit down and talk about it and stuff, and just let people know around you like, hey, I love you guys. And yeah, it's like that stuff, it happens, and it's it sucks that it happens, but yeah, it's just it's crazy, it's something that you just don't really expect to happen and stuff. So but yeah, in the meantime, I will talk to you guys later. I ain't gonna do no promos because this is just too much of a serious episode. So I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for tuning in today's episode, and peace.